quickly, isn't it?
It has, yeah. Just a
Oh,
few weeks away.
oh, I know it. Yes. Well, it's good seeing you, and welcome back to the author's table.
Thank you.
Of course, absolutely. So, Augustine, now when did you begin your passion for writing children's books?
Yeah, used to write from, I think, from the age of 10. That's when I started writing little stories, and then I wrote my first book. That's when I was 10 years old. Um, and Yeah, it's always been a passion of mine.
Yes.
And then obviously, I only started publishing in 2020. But all through the years, it has always been a passion and a dream to get my books out there.
Yeah, and actually, if I remember correctly, your dad was a journalist.
Correct. Yes, he was a journalist, and he ended up being the first black editor of the Zambia Daily Mail just after Zambia got independence.
Yes, and also you got your inspiration from your brother.
Correct. Yes, my late brother used to write poetry.
Yes.
Unfortunately, none of his works were published, and after he passed, we just couldn't find them anywhere
Mm,
in the house. Yeah, so it just stays in our hearts and in
that's
our
correct.
memory.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, Augustine, like when writing a children's book, now do you ever get feedback from children, and do you have to put yourself in that mindset when writing a children's book?
Yeah, feedback from children, yes, through their parents most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, they'll just say, "My kids love your books," and they want to read the story over and over again.
Yes.
So basically, yeah. Also, when I start my writing, I do have to look at it from a child's point of view
Right.
to make it easier for them to understand
That's
and
correct.
things too overcomplicated.
Yeah. There's nothing like the well from the parents, but from a children's point of view is when they love it, especially the characters. When you're
Yeah,
connecting with them, they can relate to things like that, and that's a
yeah.
wonderful gift too. Not everybody can do that.
Thanks.
Of course, you. I mean, as you know too, just because you're an author of writing a book, that doesn't mean you can write a children's book or you can write a novel. It takes a certain skill set to do that.
Correct.
So you do have a gift.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, of course. Now let's talk about some of your popular books because I know you have several.
Yeah.
Now, and also, you have like 53 books that you
In
published.
Yeah, in total, yeah.
Yes,
I've actually published 42, but
42.
there's like 11 which haven't been published yet, but they are there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm jumping ahead then, right?
Yeah. But I'll get there. I'll get there.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, as a because your books are very focused on educational pieces, and also
Yeah.
they're very creative,
Yes,
and
thank
and that's another a wonderful aspect in writing.
you.
You bring the reader into your books, and that's a
Mhm.
gift too.
Yeah.
And so now with your books that are out there and also coming, what has been your biggest reward?
Okay, yeah, the biggest reward was obviously with Chuck the Cheetah winning first runner up in 2023,
Yes.
the Copa Book Awards, which was an award ceremony held in Zambia in 2023. I'm obviously Zambian, but based in South Africa.
Yes.
So I traveled back for that award ceremony, and
That's
yeah, out
awesome.
of the four books that were shortlisted, yeah, Chuck the Cheetah came second. So that was a great achievement.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks.
of course, absolutely. So now
Yeah.
let's talk about some of your popular books. Now,
Mhm.
Striving,
Yeah.
a tale of ambition and grace. So now, who is Trevor?
Okay, so basically, Striving is my first attempt at a novella. So it is for young adults as well as adults.
Yes.
So that was my first venture into a fiction um, book that is not a children's book because I have written my memoir already. But yeah, that's non-fiction, obviously. So Trevor basically is was born into a family of champions. I mean, his dad was a war hero. I'm sorry, his grandfather was a war hero. His dad was also a general in the army. His mom was an actress, an award-winning actress. His grandmom was an award-winning author. So in his mind, he was just always surrounded by people who had achieved great things.
Yes.
And so he thought, since he was part of that family, he would have to follow in their footsteps. And his talent was running. So from the young age of 8, at his first running meet, when he did win and people were screaming, he took it that, oh, this is what life should be. That means I just have to always win.
Yes.
Not knowing that his parents were just happy for him. Yeah,
That's
so it's basically a journey of all that and pushing himself too much. I don't want to give everything
right.
away, but at the end of the day, there was a fall from grace, but
yes.
yeah, yeah. So
Now, now, do you believe that everybody has a gift?
I do. I
Yes.
do. Yeah.
I agree. I do too. And, it-
Yeah.
and I think the biggest challenge is finding that gift.
Correct.
You know, and I do agree with you. I think everybody has that gift, and it's just a matter of tapping into it. And you may be doing it your whole life too, and you don't realize it.
Correct. Yeah. 100%.
Yes, yeah. Now let's talk about 4 seasons in one day, and I love the illustration on that. That's pretty neat. I like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that one is basically that is a children's book. It's
Hmm.
basically just teaching the kids about all the 4 seasons, and I try to cater for children all over the world. So because like you guys in America would call autumn fall,
That's
but I basically put both those seasons in the book.
nice.
Um, and I made out that the seasons were neighbors. They lived in the same street, but they never used to talk to each other, or they would just see each other going by. So they had a picnic and decided to explain to each other what exactly the seasons were about. So summer explained what happens in summer, and in the different parts of the world, what happens in summer as well. In winter, same thing, and autumn and or fall, and in spring as well.
Nice. And that's your educational piece.
Yes, yeah, that
Yeah,
one is
wonderful.
education.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now Robbie the Raven and Debbie the Dove. Now that's a reader's favorite and a 5 star.
Correct. Yes. I've got quite a few that were readers' favorite five
Yes.
stars. But Robbie the Raven is it's based on Noah's Ark from the Bible. Obviously, I am Christian, so I've written 4 Bible-based children's books. But I decided to put because some of the stories have been told so many times,
Right.
but they
Right.
forget that the raven and the dove were part of. They had a very important part to play in that part of the Bible. So for the kids to understand, um, I made Robbie the Raven and David the Dove to be best friends, and yeah, just put it in their eyes what they saw when Noah was building the ark and things like that,
Very
and what they
nice.
had to do when the flood came and things like that. Yeah.
Very nice. Excellent. Excellent. Now I really love this one, Augustine. Now this one I really enjoy this one. It's A is for Africa. And the wonderful piece on that is the fact that it's a picture dictionary for young readers.
Yes,
And
correct.
it's not just reading something for them to visual, they can actually see it.
Yeah,
And that I think that's a nice piece to have in a book because it also teaches them, to read.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. So go
yeah,
ahead. Yep.
that's one of my wife's favorite ones.
Yes.
And it was also a blessing because I was just approached by a lady, Pam Buliev, on LinkedIn. We didn't even know each other. She just approached me on LinkedIn, sent me a message, and said, "Would you be interested in writing a book?" She just had someone she wants to sponsor someone. She'll do all the visuals, she'll do the cover design, all the illustrations, as long as I wrote the book. And I said, okay, I might be. What do you think of a picture dictionary? And she said, no, whatever you like, go for it. So I thought, yeah, let me do a picture dictionary, but instead of saying A is for apple, B is for ball, why don't we say A is for Africa and do all the different animals of Africa? So A is for aardvark, B for baboon, C for cheetah. Yeah.
That's
And
excellent.
explain to the kids what those animals are, their habitat, what they eat, and whether they're endangered or not.
So you had
Uh,
to do some research on their
I
on
did a lot of research. This book took
yes.
quite. It was one. Most of my picture books I can write in a day. Like Chuck the Cheetah Forces, I write them in a day. Give them to my editor to go through it. It takes about maybe a month or two to get it self-published.
Okay.
But Ace for Africa took us almost a year.
A year.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably because of all the research involved.
Yeah, and because Pamela is based in America as well. So
Yes.
we were, the time she would send me an email, I would only get it the next day because she would send it during the day, but I'd get it the next day and we'll go back and forth and have Zoom meetings and stuff like that. But
That's
yeah, it was
wonderful.
very interesting. Yeah.
Especially on those type of books, and well, all your books actually, but on that particular one, it had to have been a wonderful feeling, though, to do all that research and then actually see it in print and actually hold that book in your hand
Yeah.
and see, wow, this is really,
Mm.
I'm sure, with all the books that you've done, I'm sure some of them actually stand out a little more than others.
Definitely. Yeah,
Yeah,
they do.
because
Mm.
just
And
because
always
of the
correct.
impact.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Now,
Mm.
Cam, the courageous Camaro.
Yeah.
Now, now this is another favorite author's favorite or a reader's favorite.
Mm.
So who is Cam?
Okay, so basically, Cam is also he's a Camaro, but he's sort of like Trevor, but in a car
Yes,
type of.
yes,
So he's got a family of race cars. His from his dad, his brother, his sister, his uncles, aunts. They're all racing cars, and he's not the fastest car, unfortunately, but he doesn't really mind that. He just enjoys, watching his dad and mom and everyone else. But they were getting on with age, so they Cam had to take over,
mm,
um, being the race car. And his dad just gave him the advice that you just have to have courage when you go to races, and yeah, that's what it's all about. And the Camaro was my favorite car when I was a little kid.
okay.
So I,
Is it still your favorite car?
nah,
No,
nah.
but it's a great car though.
Yeah,
All right, now, okay, Augustine. Now you have a 7-book series called Never Give Up. Now,
correct.
now, what is your message to readers, about this book? What is your main message in this series?
Okay. Yeah, so basically, it's in the title. It's about never giving up. It's just
Yeah.
about perseverance, um, and it's because being a writer, you can also sorry, excuse me. You can also write about your passion. So I'm a very passionate soccer fan. Um, I wasn't the best soccer player. I used to play basketball back in the day, but I've just always enjoyed watching soccer. And my son also plays, and I mean we watch soccer together as well. But our favorite soccer team in the UK is Liverpool. So I
Okay.
decided to write the first book just based on Liverpool games, but changed the names of the players and the
Sure.
team, um, but with the underlying message of never giving up. So it was about the team being like 3-0 down and the captain spurring them on based on a real game, but I just made it like for the kids to understand.
Sure.
And then
Sure.
when I wrote that one, my son said, okay, but why don't you do this one? And because Liverpool have played so many games, so I also did more research and thought, oh, some of them I remember watching. Some of them I had to, go into the archives and
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
change it around a bit. So I've actually written 12 of those, but
12.
I've published seven so far. Yeah.
Okay. So you're doing a lot behind the scenes, aren't you?
Yes. Yes.
That's wonderful though. I mean, it's almost like you're it's almost like you just continue writing, and that's awesome. That the wheels just keep turning, and that's great. That's wonderful. Now now let's talk about Monte the monkey and the missing rhinos.
Mm,
Now,
mm.
now, what is your message that you want readers to know about this book?
Okay, so this one is another like educational one, similar
Yes,
to Four Seasons in One Day. It doesn't really have a life lesson, but I just wanted to let the children know about what's happening with the rhinos um, in Africa, and there's also the rhinos in Asia as well.
yes,
But
yes,
Africa is where they are endangered, and a specific species has actually been become extinct. It's been wiped out.
hmm,
So I just put it from the eyes of a monkey called Monty, who, you know, when he was walking around in the jungle, he just noticed that there were no rhinos around. So he gathered up his friends and they decided to go looking for the rhinos and find out exactly why we can't see them anymore. And then the rhinos explained, and then it's also got interesting facts about what is so important to make sure that these rhinos do not become extinct because they're very important, not just at looking at, but
right, right.
in the bigger scheme of the environment and things like that. Things that I also didn't know, so that was also from research that I found out.
Eh, I'm sure with the research that you've looked up, though, I'm sure it's a very scary,
It is.
yeah, and are with your research, have they made any type of headway on trying to save them?
Yes, there has been some headway, especially here in Africa. And then obviously just more stringent poaching laws and things like that. And especially also because it's just so silly why they even poach those things because they take the horn, which doesn't have any medicinal properties. It's just a myth that they're an aphrodisiac or things like that.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, so it's basically something that they're really putting their foot down on poaching. Once you are caught as a poacher, the sentencing is quite harsh. So people are starting to think twice
Well,
before.
I agree, in which it should be.
Mm,
It should be harsh.
exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, that's it's being on this earth, and we see so many beautiful creatures and stuff, and then there's always the one that wants to either diminish it or something negative.
Yeah.
And it's a shame, but
Yeah. It is.
as long as we still have those ones that are trying to preserve, and
Yes.
that's wonderful. Yes.
Mm,
Now, Augustine, now along with these and all your other books, now as you know, the holidays are quickly approaching. And so now I want to have the audience be aware of your holiday books.
mm.
Yes. So now let's talk about Rudy, the reindeer who could not fly.
Yeah.
So now this book is ages 2 through 8, correct?
Yeah. Correct.
And so who is Rudy?
Yeah. So Rudy was one of Santa's reindeers,
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately, he couldn't fly. Um, but it's one of those which is also about perseverance and friendship. So he had two friends in a little rabbit, and just can't remember what the other one was. But yeah, those two friends were kept on spurring him on and not giving up on him. And eventually he did fly and helped Santa deliver all the presents.
And the rest is history, right?
Yeah.
Now, is it Malika and the Magic Christmas Tree?
Yeah, so that one is so Malaika is my second born daughter's name.
Oh, very
So
nice.
yeah, it means angel.
Ah,
So I decided to
nice.
to use her name as the main character. So Malaika is all about a Christmas tree. She lived with her mom and dad, and they went into the woods to look for the tree to take home for Christmas. And there was all these different types of trees, nice big ones, but there was a scraggly little one that she wanted to take that one home. And her parents said, "But why? Look at it." It says, "No, I see something in that." And yeah, she took it. They took it home, and eventually it ended up blooming, and it brought lights, and yeah, so it brought the family together. And instead of having to cut down a tree every Christmas, that same tree was used every Christmas.
That's very nice. Nice
Yeah.
message too.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's very nice. Now, the Christmas cookie contest. So, what happens in Pinesville?
Yeah, so there's always a cookie contest in Pinesville. And there's three friends who decide to take part. Um, Unfortunately, there's a bit of a mishap on the day. The cookies, one batch of cookies drops, but the friends all get together and make do with what they have. So there was two friends who had their batches together. They patched them up, made them like into little stars, the other one into little Christmas trees, and they all, instead of being judged separately, they asked the judges to judge them as one. So
Nice.
that's all about friendship and and bringing each other together.
And team building.
Team building as well. Yeah, teamwork. That's it.
Yes, yes, that's great. That's a great message that everybody needs to be aware of. It's not just one person, it's everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Now, you talked about working on several books behind the
Mm.
scenes. Are you in the position now to talk about any of those, or do you want to keep it a secret?
There is there's another novella that I'm working on
Ooh,
because
okay.
yeah, I am, obviously being a writer, I'm also an avid reader, and I also just love the arts. So people, even when it comes to music, I don't listen to a specific type of music. I listen to all sorts, whether it's rock and roll, gospel music, R&B, rap. I listen to anything, reggae. So when it comes to books, I love thrillers, but I read everything from non-fiction to science fiction. So, and I also used to love science fiction when I was a kid with the Star Wars and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah.
So I thought to myself, why don't I write a little novella based on science fiction? So that's what I'm busy working on. I've actually finished it. It's in the editing stage at the moment, and yeah, it's something that I really enjoyed doing, and I hope people will as well. So that one is called Alien Invasion.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, it's basically about aliens who came and invaded Earth, but those aliens were not like your Martians or anything. They looked exactly like us. So yeah, the rest I'll leave it for next time.
Okay. Is it sort of like the invasion of the body snatchers type of thing?
Not really. They didn't take over our bodies, but they wanted to take over our planet and then take some people from Earth to their planet to do like a swap. So,
There you go.
yeah.
Now with all your books, then Augustine, do you try to stay with one particular like illustrator, or do you like to mix it up?
Okay, so I stay with the one particular illustrator who I've
Okay,
been working with um, for 4 years now. So we
nice.
work perfectly together, and yeah, I don't wanna.
Yes,
If you don't, what do they say? If it's not broke, don't fix
that's correct. Yes, yes.
it.
Now,
Yeah.
now also, like in that process when you were first like beginning. Now, did you have to look at their portfolios first to see what kind of styles and stuff, or how did you approach that?
Yeah, so basically, when I first started, I used um, the one, yeah, I looked at her portfolio,
Okay.
but I wasn't really that impressed with the way I was okay with the actual illustrations, but when it came to the typesetting and the cover design and everything, I wasn't so impressed. So I started looking elsewhere, and that's when I went locally because my first illustrator was based in, I think it was Pakistan. But
Okay.
I ended up doing some research here, and then we went back and forth with this lady who's a bit of an enigma. I've never met her. I've never spoken to her on the phone because she just deals with emails only. So her
Hmm.
name is June, yeah. So my
Okay.
wife said, "Are you sure she's a real person?" And
Right.
she's,
Right.
yeah, but she
Yes.
is.
It's not an alien, is she?
Yeah, so
Oh.
we have been working together. I looked at her portfolio, and yeah, we just, because she's an all-in-one basically. Like I said, she's an editor. She does the typesetting, she does the cover design, and she does the illustrations as well. So
That's wonderful because that's hard. That's hard to find.
yeah,
To have like a one-stop shop.
exactly. Yeah.
Wonderful. Nice.
Mm.
Nice. Now, now, are you a self-published author, Augustine?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I've only traditionally published one
Okay.
by a local publishing house here in South Africa,
Okay.
which is my middle grade novel. I don't think that one is on Amazon because my publisher distributes and everything herself. She doesn't believe in Amazon. But yeah, that one is called Mutlak and the Case of the Missing Soccer Ball.
Okay.
Um, that's like it's for tweens, so it's for kids ages 8 to 14. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's only available in South Africa.
Okay. All right. Now, now let's talk about marketing. Now, as a self-published author, that there's some challenges in trying to market your material because
Hundred.
and obviously, it's like a business because you're selling a brand, and that's you.
Mm.
So what works for you, Augustine, and what does not work for you as a self-published author?
Okay, so on the marketing side, basically the only thing that I am doing at the moment is social media
Okay.
and email marketing. Apart from that, here in South Africa, I go to baby expos and
Okay.
I don't go to your little small markets, but I target the actual place where you would find parents and grandparents. So I go to baby expos, I go to school, not the small ones, but the big carnivals. And I've been invited to take part in it's called the Monte Casino Festive Market. So it's like a Christmas market, but it's for like 10 days. So that
10
one I
days.
usually, yeah, and I'll be there like it's 9 hours a day,
Wow.
selling and signing, selling and signing. But yeah,
Well,
it's one
now,
of the things
yeah.
that really pushes me out there.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah.
that's, as a self-published author, as you have to go out there and actually talk to people,
Exactly.
and you're very good with talking with the children because I've seen the images.
Yeah,
that I think see that's part of being a self-published author.
yeah.
Not just going to a book signing event and you're just standing there not saying anything.
So,
So you do
yeah,
have to get out there and mingle, because it's not just your books that you know because you have people that come to you. You have to be approachable.
mm,
You can't just sit there with your arms crossed and hoping
exactly.
that you're going to sell all your books.
No, no.
So
Yeah,
it does take a little effort, but at the same time it should be fun.
it is. Yeah.
Because you produced a product for people to buy and enjoy. So yeah, you have to stand behind it 120%.
Mm, mm,
You know,
definitely.
and I and what I saw of the images and stuff, I think that's fantastic, and that's just a little piece of it.
Mm,
As you know too, because it's
yeah.
yeah, I mean yes, you are talking to the children and stuff, and that's wonderful. That's fantastic. But then also going to the events like you're going to, I mean, now you're going to be talking with everybody.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
Yeah.
and with the holidays coming up, do you find this is a time period where you can do very well because of the
Mm.
holidays, or does it get slow?
No, it's definitely improves, especially because you still got the people. I mean, in this day and age, I'm sure you know, a lot of kids don't read, and a lot of parents don't encourage the reading.
Right.
But the ones who do
That's right.
are very passionate about
Absolutely.
it, and they want just to buy books for Christmas.
That's
Most of
correct. Yeah.
them, yeah. I also used to get books for Christmas, but when I was a kid, I used to get my toys, yes, but I always used to love getting a book, a brand new book for Christmas.
Now,
Um,
now does
and
Santa still come and give you toys?
nah,
No.
Santa, because Rudy can't fly.
Oh. or you've been bad, right, Augustine? That's funny. Okay. Now the rest of your book so is on Amazon for people to
Yeah, so
purchase.
all of them are on Amazon except that one, I think.
Yes. Now, are they in different formats too, Augustine?
Yeah,
Or
they're in two formats, ebook and paperback.
wonderful. What has been the like the biggest selling? Is it the ebooks or is it the actual paperback?
No, it's definitely paperbacks. For children's books, not the ebooks. It's definitely the
Yeah.
paperback. Yeah.
Like you said, though, this day and age, people are going digital and stuff, but there's nothing like holding that book.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it. Then you could always, just you have it in your hand. I always like that too.
Mm.
It's the digital is nice though, but at the same token, it's just there's just nothing like holding that book and just reading it.
Exactly.
And
100%.
you
Yeah.
know, now now do you have a website also?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
And what
So,
is your website, Augustine?
so it's
Mm-hmm.
www.kamulenga.com.
Fantastic. Now when is your next book signing event and your speaking engagement?
Okay, so this year I don't have any speaking engagements,
Okay,
and but I will be at that Monte Casino festive market from the 15th to the 23rd of December. Yeah,
nice.
and at Monte Casino in Johannesburg from I think it's from 12 o'clock midday to 9 o'clock at the night. Yeah, I'll be there every day.
Wow, that's going to be fun though. It,
Yeah,
it's it's
yeah,
going to be long days, but it's going to be fun.
yeah,
And right before the holiday, I mean, right before Christmas, I mean, you should do
yeah,
very well.
yeah, definitely.
Now, like when you're at those events, do you have is there any limit of like your booth to how to set up or anything, or do they have like restrictions of what you should bring and what not to bring?
No, these guys are they're really very flexible. They provide the tables and the tablecloths and some a bit of festive decorations that you can add on to that. So it's
Nice.
all up to you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they are very flexible, and it's not my first time. It will be actually my third Monte Casino festive, and I just love it.
So you're a veteran
It's
now.
great. Yep. Yep.
That's excellent. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, what is your message to anyone that would like to start writing a children's book and they really don't know how to begin? So, what is your message to them?
Yeah, if you've got that feeling that you do want to write a children's book, I think you just have to, whatever works for you. I mean, I use the laptop and I do it in Microsoft Word. I know people who write on a notebook. Um, yeah, so it's up to you. But the thing is, if you have the idea and you want to write that book, but the thing is, what you have to be careful is that with children's books, you can't write it like you're writing to an adult. So you have to focus your message on the children and make sure that it's something. Think about it of what children would want. Would you? That's why in my books there's always a bit of repetition because that hits the nail on the head, sort of
That's
like.
right.
So if you just say something and and don't focus on that specific message, then the message won't come across to the kids. So that would be my advice.
Well said. That I think what you're doing, Augustine, is just is wonderful. You have a gift, and keep it up. And
Thanks.
you're very talented, and you definitely have a proven track record. I mean, because you're very good, and you are you know what you're doing. And plus too, you have wonderful advice and stuff too. So, and it's not just for children, but for adults too.
Thanks.
Especially when they come and see you. You
Mm.
know, because you have a wonderful appearance of that. You can tell you have a passion, and it comes across very nicely because you stand behind what you do.
Mm.
You know, so and I say thumbs up all the way. And
Thanks.
I wish you the very best in your journey, and keep it up. I mean, keep writing. I
Thank you
mean,
so much.
of course, absolutely, and
Yeah.
and I know you're going to do very well, and you have been, and just keep it up. As long as you have that drive and that passion and stuff, there's no stopping you. And
Mm.
I think if you enjoy it, you know,
Yep.
I mean, sky's the limit.
100%.
Yeah, and I think you only put your own restrictions on. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so yeah, keep it up, and please keep me in the loop again. And I'd love to have
Definitely.
you back on here because I think you're one of the authors that there's no stopping, and I think that's wonderful though. I mean, because your books also have that nice educational, and there's a message, for not just for children but for everybody.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
and I think that everybody can follow that. It's just a nice, you know, you know, inside feeling of there's not just a book to read and then put it down, forget about it. Something to think about in your stories, and I think that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Of course, absolutely. And but again, I wish you the very best, and everything you do is success. Everything and just like I said, keep me in the loop. Yeah,
Thank you.
okay.
And sorry, Brad, there's just one more thing I think I
Of
left out.
course, yes.
I will be actually traveling to Kenya end of
Ah,
this. Yeah, that's for two of my books were nominated for Christian. It's called the African Christian Books Awards,
well,
and it'll be held,
congratulations.
yeah. Thank you so much. So that'll be held in Kenya end of this month. That's David the Great King and Robbie the Raven and Debbie the Dove winning
Oh,
that award. So,
fantastic.
yeah, well, I'll be traveling at the end of this month. It'll be my first time going to Kenya, so I'm looking forward to it.
Take a lot of pictures.
I will definitely.
Yeah, and get a lot of pictures too of you and your books and stuff.
Yes,
It's always nice to see.
yes,
Yeah,
thanks.
fantastic. And again, you have the wonderful rest of your day, and thank you so much for being my guest again on the author's table.
Appreciate it. Thanks for
Of
having me, Brad.
course, you're very welcome. You
Thanks.
have a great day.
You too. Bye
Okay,
bye.
thank you. Bye bye.